Well, thank you one and all for coming to another side flick. Let me reward you with some movie news. So this we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we got our first trailer for the new Karate Kid movie. What are we thinking about it? We got a twist of an update to the cast for Scream 7. I did not see this coming. And Sony looking to reboot their spin-off universe. Oh, we're going to be diving into that along with so much more. So you guys know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and where my hug at? Come here. That's right. I'm aware I'm a hug at, guy. Come give it to me virtually. Just wanted to show you a little love today. It's been a good week of movie news, so let's get into the first one. All right, so although I was going to talk about the first look photos that dropped of Karate Kid, today we actually got the first trailer, and guys, I'm actually very impressed. Although I was already looking forward to this movie and I thought it would be decent, there is a part of me that was worried it would just feel like a cash grab and such a lazily done follow-up to a beloved franchise. But no, it looks like Sony locked in for this one because this trailer was a lot more serious than I thought. So this movie is set to take place 3 years after the finale of Cobra Kai, which we'll get sometime next year. And it's going to be following Mr. Han, who has a new pupil, Lee, who decides to join a tournament to help out a new friend he meets when he moves to New York, except the skills he has isn't enough to win in this tournament, so Mr. Han, Jackie Chan, enlists the help of the original Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso, to teach him some karate. And that right there is sounding so much better than the original plot we heard of this movie. This is one of those cases where what we heard about the film is true, but it wasn't the main thing about the movie. Just like whenever I reported on the first plot details for Jordan Peele's Nope, we heard that it would be about a guy working in the electronics section at Walmart, and then when the movie came out, it turned out that guy wasn't actually the main character, and instead of Walmart, it was Fry's Electronics. The things we heard about this movie are still true, that this new kid would be a student for Mr. Han, coming from Beijing, China, moving to New York, befriending somebody who owns a pizza shop. You see the pizza shop in the background here, but instead of what we heard where this kid teaches the pizza shop owner karate so he can defend himself, it looks like he instead is needing the money from the tournament or something. It feels like there is a dire need to win this tournament, and I assume it all comes down to money. So that's nice, but I just love the idea of bringing kung fu and karate all into one. This is about to be the ultimate Karate Kid. I remember back when the Jaden Smith movie came out, a lot of people were having debates. What is better, karate or kung fu? And a lot of people were like, kung fu would obviously kick karate's butt. But according to this movie, you can't win a tournament with just kung fu. You need some of that karate Miyagi-Do. And can we talk about the moments where we see Jackie Chan, Mr. Han, and Daniel LaRusso fighting? I know it was only snippets, but it already looks more fluid and faster than some of the fight scenes we get in Cobra Kai. Not dissing on the Cobra Kai fight scenes, but come on, admit it. There are sometimes the older people in that show fight, and it doesn't look that great. But with some movie magic and choreography, it's probably gonna look a lot cleaner. Overall, though, highly impressed with the first look at this movie. I was afraid this would be a guilty pleasure excitement for me, but now I can proudly say I'm looking forward to Karate Kid Legends. Now let's see if we get that Jaden Smith cameo. Are you guys looking forward to Karate Kid Legends? Something small that I did want to talk about that I know some of you are gonna skip, but don't you dare do it. We got the new title for Wicked Part 2, and I think it's one of the worst titles that we have ever gotten for a movie. Now, I was pleasantly surprised just a couple of weeks ago when I finally went to go see Wicked, a movie I had no interest in, and I came out rather happy with it. And ever since then, I've learned of a couple of things that are supposed to happen in Part 2, and consider me Wicked pilled. And when Part 2 comes around, your boy's painting himself green and laughing like a witch. That's honestly how much I'm looking forward to this Part 2. So count me surprised when we found out that they have retitled Wicked Part 2 to Wicked for Good. Now, this must be another tagline or phrase in the Wicked musical I'm unaware of, because that does not roll off the tongue. Wicked for Good? I don't know. I think you could have maybe have done something better there, but this is also a good look at how Hollywood knows Part 1s and Part 2s don't make the money they used to. There used to be a time where you could put Part 1 or Part 2 in the title and it would generate some buzz. nowadays it feels like a proven way to earn less money. Even the latest Mission Impossible movie that was going with the Part 1, Part 2 route had to rename itself from Dead Reckoning Part 1 to now Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. So even if you're not a fan of Wicked, just looking at it from a marketing perspective, I think that's interesting. But I throw it off to you. If you're someone else who's Wicked pilled like me, what do you think of the title Wicked for Good? And well, another first look, and probably a movie we're gonna get a trailer for in the next couple of weeks, Megan 2. Just like we got the first look at the Karate Kid and then a trailer popped up, we also got new looks at the second Megan movie, but I'm actually going to reveal to you some details I've heard personally that no one else knows about. So recapping the things we have already heard and known about Megan 2.0 is that Megan will be becoming the good guy this time around, that there will be a competing doll named Amelia, and yes, the E in Amelia will be a 3 just like in Megan, and that'll be the doll going around killing people while Megan is trying to protect our characters from the last movie. So kind of a Terminator 2 situation. And well, the things about this movie I've been told sound crazy. If you guys remember how the last Megan movie ended, Megan's subconscious was like hinted at being inside a device. Well, once this new doll starts popping around and Megan needs to convince other people that she can help fight this thing, they're going to build her a newer and stronger body. This new Megan doll will actually be taller than the last one. I'm thinking they did this because Megan is played by a real actress, and that actress was a little kid, and well, little kids grow up, so I'm thinking that's how they're going to explain the height change. She'll also be getting a new outfit that is different from her previous one, so a costume change. The first look photo might make you think this is the new outfit, but I'm actually being told there is a moment in this movie where Megan is legit jumping out of a helicopter into a concert for some reason, and that's the actual suit she's gonna be wearing when she jumps out of the helicopter. Like, this franchise, I think, is no longer sticking to the horror route, but is going the action comedy route. But you know what? I'm here for it because I like the fun in this universe, and hopefully that's what the movie delivers, some fun. I'm guessing that trailer is going to probably come out whenever Blumhouse releases Wolfman next month, so that's why I say this trailer could be online this week or any week from now. How are you guys feeling about these little details with Megan 2.0? Moving on to another horror franchise, a plot twist I didn't see coming. Scream fans were kind of in a frenzy yesterday when we found out that Mason Gooding has joined the cast of Scream 7, and when this popped up, I had so many thoughts. Now, the reason this got a lot of Scream fans scratching their heads and kind of going a little crazy is because of the controversy that this movie has had and the way they fired Melissa Barrera. Because the cast seemed to be really good friends on and off camera, and this franchise leaving the newer characters behind and going back to the legacy characters like Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, none of us expected this story to really include the core 4, but Mason Gooding is somehow going to be part of this movie. Although some fans are disappointed that it seems like he didn't stand in solidarity with Melissa Barrera, some saw it coming whenever he had another horror movie coming out with Spyglass called Hard Eyes, a slasher movie about a guy who goes after couples. And while we could definitely spend time talking about the controversy and racking our brains around that, I'm just trying to look at it as a Scream fan and how this will make sense in the timeline, because I'm like, how does Chad fit into a story revolving around Sydney and her daughters and her being chased by Ghostface again? Looking at the weird part about this, it's like, how do you have a member of the core 4 without the core 4 there? My mind immediately went to, oh dude, he's gonna be the opening kill. But even that would kind of be disappointing if you're a fan of the core 4, because if Chad dies, I want to see the core 4 mourn his death. I want to see Tara, Sam, and especially Mindy by the side of Chad and reacting to his death. So if they actually kill him off this time, like they were kind of supposed to in the last movie, I think that would be a little unsatisfying without those characters part of the movie. There's also been rumored to be a time jump in this film, like it's going to take place 4, maybe 5 years after the last movie. This is making me think that he is no longer with Tara, which sucks because I really like that relationship, and that was one of the better parts of Scream 6 is the way they developed Chad, where he went from just kind of a boring one-dimensional character in Scream 5 to actually doing stuff in Scream 6. But their breakup would explain why Jenna Ortega is just not involved here, but still, the twins, they made them inseparable. It would be so weird to have Chad in here without Jasmine Savoy Brown as Mindy. And actually, the article hints to that being a possibility. In the article, it says here, Jasmine Savoy Brown, who plays Chad's sister Mindy Meeks Martin, has not officially signed on yet. Meaning it looks like we could expect Jasmine Savoy Brown to be part of this movie. And for anybody telling me, Chris, she already confirmed she's not going to be part of the movie. No, she didn't. A lot of people have been spreading this report that Jasmine Savoy Brown already publicly said she won't be part of the film when that isn't true. This all came from a post of a fan in Brazil who got to take a picture with Jasmine Savoy Brown, and from his word, he said that she wasn't returning. And people just took his word for it, ran with it, and now today he admits, well, Jasmine actually never told me she wouldn't be part of the movie, I just assumed. So yeah, she never said she wasn't, and if you have Chad in there, I feel like you kinda gotta have Mindy. Because the moment Ghostface tries stabbing Chad again, Mindy's getting on a plane and going to protect her brother, unless in the time jump they had a falling out and they hate each other. I guess that's the one way you could explain it. So I don't know, this was kind of shocking, and I'm not gonna lie, it will be shocking if Jasmine Savoy Brown also joins in, but I feel character-wise and in continuity with the movie, controversy aside, that would make more sense. I've already seen some pretty good theories online where people are suggesting that Chad could maybe be the cameraman as an intern or employee working with Courtney Cox as part of her TV show. And that maybe him grabbing a camera in Scream 6 was like a hint of that. This even ties back to like old rumors that Courtney's cameraman from Scream 2 is actually the father of Mindy and Chad, although that's never been proven, and I feel like that's just a huge stretch. But heck, maybe Chad getting a job with Courtney would put him closest to when this Ghostface attack happens. I don't know, man, but wow, finally some actual theorizing we can do with Scream 7 instead of always talking about how Spyglass just ruined the goodwill of this franchise. Your thoughts on this casting update? And well, this brings us here to talk about some Sony. So it's been kind of a sad weekend for Sony when it comes to Kraven the Hunter. The movie did not perform well at the box office, and although we had heard reports from outlets saying that they were finally done with the universe, those reports did state they were only taking a pause for the next 3 years because they're busy with Spider-Man 4, Beyond the Spider-Verse. But now with that out of the way, another reliable outlet, Deadline, is now confirming that Sony is taking their recent failures with the Spider-Man spin-off universe very seriously, and they were planning to reboot things. And I mean, that's really your only other option. There's no way you can continue with whatever weird things you were building up in this universe. But I just don't know how you reboot things in a way that would make them interesting unless you start focusing on Spider-Man-centered characters. And you know, while this is coming from official news, there's been like so many other weird rumors floating around lately, Spider-Man related. When this was happening, people were seriously saying that Sony is going to give the rights back to Marvel after this, when I'm like, I don't think they are. They're still making a lot of money, even with ruining the reputation of some of these characters. They confirmed the only movie that's really flopped for them and didn't turn them a profit was Madam Web. I'm thinking Kraven is next on that list, but we'll see where he ends up once his box office run is over. Because all the Venom movies made them a lot of money. Morbius supposedly made them a profit. They like state that in this article. And when you pair that up with the successful Tom Holland trilogy where they all made over $1 billion each, $2 billion for No Way Home, why would they let go of that? Yeah, they lost $5, but they made $500 over here. There's no reason to sell this thing. But the weirdest rumor that guys, I'm telling you, take it with a grain of salt, but I know some of you saw this rumor too, and you want me to talk about it. I just am done trying to guess what Spider-Man 4 is about, because we have heard a different thing every week. The thing that everyone was buzzing about yesterday is that there was a rumor or some sort of speculation that Spider-Man 4 is going to feature Mephisto as the villain, and that Ghost Rider would be included in the movie as another villain hired by Mephisto to go after him, or as the team-up character for Spider-Man 4. And I'm done. What is going on in Spider-Man 4? I don't know if I believe those rumors, but at this point, I just have no idea what Sony is doing with this movie. Whether they're going the multiverse route, if they're going Venom and Null, Mephisto and Ghost Rider now. It made more sense when it was Daredevil and Kingpin, but look how far we've come now. I honestly was expecting Sony to pull out some sort of news this week to kind of let people forget about Craven in theaters and go, guys, we're still making cool movies here. But I don't know when we're getting some official wording from Sony. The only real date I can think of is CinemaCon early next year, because Sony is set to be there. And well, one of the last times they were there, they announced an El Muerto movie that never happened. I'm thinking that's gonna be the time they announce the title of Spider-Man 4, the release date for Beyond the Spider-Verse, just maybe making things a little bit more clear for Spider-Man fans. But we'll wait and see. I just had to talk about some of that stuff with you. Let me know your guys' opinions on it. But that is all movie news we're currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.